They never saw this coming. You're staring at your phone at 11:47 p.m. The room is quiet, but your mind is loud. You told yourself you wouldn't text. You told yourself you were done chasing. And yet your fingers are hovering over their name, replaying their last cold reply, wondering if maybe you were too much or not enough. Your heart says reach out, your pride says stay still. And in this moment, it feels like silence is losing. But what if I told you this is the exact moment your power is being decided? There is something you don't yet see about silence. And before this video ends, I will explain why the discomfort you feel right now is not weakness, but withdrawal from emotional dependency. I will also explain why the person who appears calm and quiet is often the one shifting the entire dynamic. Right now, no contact feels unnatural, it feels harsh. It feels like you are abandoning the connection. Your nervous system is used to engagement, used to fixing, used to proving, used to chasing clarity from someone who gives you confusion. When you stop reaching, your body reacts as if something is wrong. Anxiety rises, doubt whispers. You start negotiating with yourself. Maybe just one message. Maybe just closure. But silence is not punishment. Silence is position, and position in relationships is everything. When you chase someone who is pulling away, you communicate something without meaning to. You communicate that their distance does not cost them. You communicate that you will close every gap they create. You communicate that you value the connection more than they do. Even if you don't say those words, your behavior says them for you. Chasing lowers your position because it moves you from chooser to seeker, from equal to pursuer, from grounded to grasping. Now listen carefully. I am not saying never express yourself. I am not saying play games. I am saying this: when someone has shown you inconsistency, when someone has withdrawn effort, when someone has made you question your worth, the most powerful response is not to convince, it is to observe. Silence forces truth to surface. When you stop chasing, two things happen. First, you feel the full weight of your attachment. That discomfort you feel, that is not love. That is your nervous system asking for relief. You are used to small doses of validation. A text, a call, a crumb of attention. When that stops, it feels like something is missing. But what is missing is not them. It is the hit of reassurance. I will explain later how this pattern often begins long before this relationship ever started. For now, understand this: the urge to chase is usually about fear, not connection. Second, when you go silent, the other person feels the shift. Not because you are playing hard to get, but because dynamics change when access changes. If someone is used to you reaching out first, apologizing first, fixing first, and suddenly you are still, they notice. The energy they relied on is no longer feeding the interaction. And here is where many people sabotage themselves. The moment they feel the other person noticing, they rush back in. They break the silence too early. They interrupt their own growth because discomfort feels unbearable. But growth always feels unfamiliar. You think silence makes you invisible. In truth, silence makes you clear. Clear about what you will and will not tolerate. Clear about whether they step forward when you step back. Clear about whether the connection survives without you carrying it. Chasing feels active. It feels productive. It feels like you are doing something. Silence feels passive. It feels like you are losing time. But in reality, chasing is emotional overinvestment. Silence is emotional discipline. And discipline builds attraction in ways desperation never can. When you chase, you ask, do you want me? When you stand still, you declare, this is where I stand. That difference is subtle but powerful. Many people fear that if they stop reaching out, the relationship will end. And sometimes it will. But if it collapses the moment you stop over-functioning, then you were never in a mutual bond. You were in a one-sided effort. You cannot build intimacy by overextending yourself. You cannot earn consistency by tolerating inconsistency. You cannot secure love by abandoning yourself. Let me say that again in a way you can carry with you. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. When you chase someone who is unsure about you, you teach them that your self-respect is negotiable. Not because you are weak, but because fear is louder than boundaries. And fear makes you act against your own dignity. Silence interrupts that pattern. It gives you space to see clearly. It gives them space to choose freely. And it removes the constant emotional noise that keeps you in reaction mode. I know it feels hard. Your mind will create stories. They'd have moved on. You lost your chance. But those stories are attempts to pull you back into action, into chasing, into proving. Here is the truth: if someone values you, space does not erase you. It clarifies you. If someone needs you to constantly pursue them to feel important, that is not love. That is ego reinforcement. When you stop chasing, you step into something deeper than pride. You step into alignment. Alignment with your standards, alignment with your worth, alignment with the kind of relationship you actually want. And yes, it will feel lonely at first. Because you are no longer distracting yourself with effort. You are sitting with reality, and reality is quiet. But quiet is powerful. In this first phase, your job is not to win them back. Your job is to regulate yourself, to notice the impulse to reach out and let it pass, to remind yourself that urgency is not the same as importance. You are not being cold. You are being centered. And as we move forward, I will show you exactly why the person who stays grounded in silence often ends up with more clarity, more respect, and sometimes even more attraction than the one who keeps chasing. For now, sit with this. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. Let that settle. Because in the next part, we're going to go deeper into why your nervous system fights this so hard and what that says about your past, not just your present. When you step back, something very specific happens inside you. And something very specific happens inside them. Let's start with you. Your nervous system has been trained to associate contact with safety. A reply means relief. A call means reassurance. Even a small sign of attention calms the anxiety. So when you remove contact, your body reacts as if you've lost something essential. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts race. You feel the urge to fix the silence immediately. This is not weakness. This is conditioning. If you grew up feeling that love had to be earned, maintained, or protected, then distance feels dangerous. When someone pulls away, your instinct is to move closer, to close the gap, to restore connection at any cost. That is not romance. That is a survival strategy. Stepping back interrupts that survival pattern, and the interruption feels uncomfortable because you are no longer soothing yourself through them. You are sitting with your own anxiety instead of outsourcing it. This is where real growth begins. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. When you chase, you abandon your emotional center to stabilize someone else's inconsistency. When you step back, you stabilize yourself first. That shift is psychological power, not control, not manipulation. Power. Now let's talk about what changes in their mind. When you constantly reach out, they don't have to question the connection. It is guaranteed. You are predictable. Your attention is available. There is no risk on their side. Human psychology values what feels uncertain more than what feels secured without effort. When you stop reaching out, uncertainty enters their experience. They begin to wonder, are you pulling away? Are you done? Are you seeing someone else? Are you finally tired? This is not about playing games. It is about restoring balance. When effort is one-sided, attraction erodes. When access is unlimited, appreciation fades. When you step back, you reintroduce consequence, not by threatening, not by announcing, simply by redirecting your energy. Silence forces them to confront their own level of investment. If they care, they lean in. If they don't, they stay distant. Either way, you receive information, clear information, and clarity is more valuable than temporary comfort. But here's the part most people struggle with: the urge to text. It will come in waves. In the morning when you wake up, late at night when you feel alone after you post something and see they viewed it, after you hear a song that reminds you of them. When that urge rises, do not shame yourself. Do not fight it aggressively. Observe it. Say to yourself, this is anxiety, not destiny. Then create a pause, not forever. Just 10 minutes. Put the phone down. Stand up. Change rooms. Drink water. Breathe slowly. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Let your body settle before your mind decides. Most impulses lose strength if you don't act immediately. If the urge is still strong, write the message in your notes app. Say everything you want to say. Do not send it. Close it. Revisit it 24 hours later. Most of the time, you will see that what felt urgent was emotional overflow, not wisdom. Another powerful step is this: move your body. Go for a walk without music. Let your thoughts surface. When you walk, your nervous system regulates. Your mind clears. Emotional intensity drops. Action taken from calm is always stronger than action taken from panic. You must learn to sit with discomfort without turning it into behavior. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. Every time you resist the urge to chase, you strengthen self-trust. And self-trust is attractive, not because it manipulates others, but because it radiates steadiness. Now let's talk about what you should focus on daily instead of chasing. First, rebuild your routine around yourself, not around waiting. Wake up and ask, what strengthens me today? Not, will they text? Pour energy into your body. Exercise. Stretch, eat well, sleep consistently. A regulated body creates a regulated mind, and a regulated mind makes empowered decisions. Second, reconnect with parts of you that shrank in the relationship. Your hobbies, your friendships, your ambitions. Often when we chase someone, our world becomes small. Our focus narrows. We orbit around their availability. Expand your world again. Schedule something every day that has nothing to do with them. A class, a project, a call with a friend, a skill you've wanted to learn. Progress builds confidence. Confidence reduces obsession. Third, audit your thoughts. When your mind says, if I don't text, I'll lose them, challenge it. Ask, if I have to chase to keep them, what exactly am I keeping? If someone disappears because you stopped overextending, that is not loss. That is exposure. Fourth, strengthen your boundaries internally. Remind yourself what you want in a partner. Consistency, effort, emotional availability, respect. Then ask honestly, was I receiving that? If not, silence is not punishment, it is alignment. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. Let that echo when the loneliness hits. Because loneliness will come. Not because you need them, but because you are breaking a pattern. Patterns resist change. They fight back through cravings, nostalgia, and selective memory. You will remember the good moments more vividly than the painful ones. That is how attachment works. When that happens, ground yourself in facts, not fantasies. Ask, how did I feel most of the time, not just in the highlights? Stepping back is not about making them miss you. It is about making you see clearly. If they step forward, you will evaluate their actions, not just their words. If they stay silent, you will grieve, but you will not beg, because you are no longer negotiating your worth. And as we continue, we're going to look at what happens when they finally do reach out and how to respond without losing the power you've worked so hard to rebuild. Now let's talk about the moment you've been imagining they come back. Your phone lights up, a message. Hey, I've been thinking about you, maybe even an apology, and suddenly your body reacts again. Hope rises. Relief floods in. Part of you wants to forget the distance, forget the confusion, forget the silence. Slow down. If they come back, your job is not to celebrate. Your job is to observe. Silence revealed something. It revealed whether they felt your absence. It revealed whether they were willing to move toward you without being pulled. But their return is not proof of change, it is only proof of contact. This is where boundaries matter. Do not rush the pace. Do not jump back into daily texting. Do not immediately offer emotional access at full capacity. Let consistency rebuild slowly. Let actions speak longer than words. If they say they miss you, watch what they do next. If they say they've changed, watch how they handle small moments of tension. Standards are not speeches. They are behavior. If you used to be available 20/47, shift that. If you used to tolerate last-minute plans, change that. If you used to over-explain your feelings, simplify that. You are not punishing them. You are protecting yourself. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. If they truly value you, boundaries will not scare them. They will respect them. In fact, clear boundaries create emotional safety. They show that you know your worth, and someone ready for a healthy connection will meet that with effort, not resistance. Move slower than your emotions want to move. That is strength. Ask yourself regularly, do I feel calm with this person now? Or just relieved? Relief is not the same as security. Relief is the absence of anxiety. Security is the presence of consistency. If they become defensive when you express needs, notice that. If they accuse you of changing, understand that you have. Growth always looks like change to someone who benefited from your old patterns. Now let's talk about the other possibility: they don't come back. The silence stretches. Days turn into weeks. And at some point, you realize that no message is coming. This is where many people feel rejection. But what silence truly gave you was truth. Silence reveals truth either way. If they return with effort, you see their investment. If they disappear, you see their limits. In both cases, you gain clarity. If they don't come back, your task is closure without contact. Closure is not a conversation, it is a decision. A decision that you will not chase someone who did not choose you freely. A decision that your dignity matters more than temporary comfort. Grief will come, let it. You are not grieving just a person. You are grieving the future you imagined, the version of them you hoped for, the story you built in your mind. Feel it fully, but do not let grief turn into self-abandonment. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. Moving forward does not mean pretending you never cared. It means integrating the lesson. It means asking, what did this dynamic teach me about my patterns? Maybe you tolerated inconsistency too long. Maybe you ignored red flags. Maybe you confused intensity with intimacy. Learn, adjust, grow. Then redirect your focus back to building a life that feels full without chasing anyone. Pour energy into friendships that reciprocate, into work that challenges you, into hobbies that light you up, into your physical and emotional health. The more grounded your life becomes, the less likely you are to accept half-hearted effort in the future. And here is the deeper truth. When you stop chasing, you begin attracting differently. Not because you are playing hard to get, but because you are no longer available for dynamics that drain you. Let me bring this together clearly. You step back. It felt uncomfortable because your nervous system was used to over-functioning. You resisted the urge to chase and rebuilt your center. Silence shifted the dynamic. If they returned, you met them with boundaries and pace. If they didn't, you met yourself with dignity and growth. Silence reveals truth either way. That is the power of it. Here is your one clear action step for the next 30 days. Commit to no chasing in any form, no double texting, no emotional over-explaining, no initiating contact to relieve anxiety. If they reach out, respond calmly and match effort. If they don't, invest that energy back into yourself. 30 days of discipline can reset patterns that have lasted years. You are not powerless in love. You are powerful when you are aligned. The goal was never to make someone choose you. The goal is to choose yourself so clearly that only the right person can stand beside you. You do not secure love by abandoning yourself. Say that quietly. Feel it. Stand in that truth with calm confidence, with steady breath, with self-respect that does not need to shout. And if you're ready to go even deeper into understanding why you were drawn to this dynamic in the first place, watch the next video where we break down the hidden attachment patterns that shape who you fall for and why.